Hello students, this is your chemistry faculty from FunEdu. Today we are going to discuss few important questions related to NSO, that is National Science Olympiad Test of class 10. So before proceeding, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also please like and share our video. So let's move on to our first question. So it says, which of the following statement about the given reaction are not correct? So the reaction is Fe2O3 plus 3CO giving 2Fe plus 3CO2. Now you have the four statements, that is first statement says Fe2O3 is getting oxidized to Fe. Second statement says Fe2O3 is acting as a reducing agent. Third, CO is acting as a reducing agent. And fourth, CO is getting reduced to CO2. Okay, so you have the four options also. You have to identify the correct option. So according to question, you have to identify the wrong statement. Okay. Now let's see which statement is wrong. Now, so we analyze one by one. So in the given reaction you can see, right, Fe2O3 is donating its oxygen to CO, right, so that it is getting converted into CO2, right. So it means what? Fe2O3 is acting as a oxidizing agent. Okay, so it is acting as a oxidizing agent. So it is oxidizing the CO into CO2, whereas itself it is getting reduced to Fe. Okay, so it means CO is a reducing agent, correct? So we'll see. So the first statement says Fe2O3 is getting oxidized to Fe. It is wrong. Why? It is getting reduced to Fe. And the second statement says Fe2O3 is acting as a reducing agent. So is it so? No, it is acting as what? It is not acting as a reducing agent. It is acting as a oxidizing agent. So that is also a wrong statement. Third one, CO is acting as a reducing agent. Is it so? Yes, CO is acting as a reducing agent. So this is a correct statement. Now the fourth one, it says CO is getting reduced to CO2. Is it so? CO is getting what? Reduced to CO2? No, it is getting oxidized to CO2. Correct? So that's why this is also a wrong statement. So in the question it's given, you have to identify the wrong statement, the statement which is not correct. So which statements are not correct? First, third one and fourth one, right? 1, 3 and 4. These are the wrong statements. So in the option, let's see, 3 only, 1, 2 and 4, 2 and 4, 1 and 3. So the correct statement is what? Correct option is B. So in B you have 1, 2 and 4. Correct? Okay. So let's see the answer. So the answer says the correct answer is B. Correct? B, 1, 2 and 4. Why? The solution says in the given reaction we can see that Fe2O3 acts as an oxidizing agent and hence it will get reduced to Fe, while CO acts as a reducing agent and hence it gets oxidized to CO2. I hope you understood this question. It's very simple. Okay. Now let's move on to the second question. So the second question says, strips of metal X were dipped into two solutions as shown below. So here you can see a metal X. Okay, it's two strips, right? So the first one and the second one. So these two strips were dipped in the solution of what? One is silver nitrate and another one is a zinc nitrate. Okay, so what you have to identify, a grayish metallic deposit was found on both the strips. Which of the following could be the metal X? So what you have to do, you just have to find out the metal X. So what the options is? The options are copper, magnesium, lead and iron. Okay, so in other words, what you have to do, you have to identify the cation. Okay, so metal is nothing but a cation. Why? Because metals are those which have the ability to lose electrons so that they can form metal cations, right? So you have to identify the metal cation now. So obviously this question is based on what? This is based on the activity series. You have already studied, right, activity series. So then if you know the activity series, then you can easily solve this question. It's very simple. So here you can see a grayish metallic deposit was found on both the strips. It means what? It means our metal X should be more reactive than both the silver and zinc. Okay, so let's see one by one. Is copper is more reactive than both silver and zinc? Yes? No. Correct? So copper is not more reactive than zinc. So that's why this is not the correct option. Now let's see B. B says magnesium. Is magnesium is more reactive than silver and zinc? Yes, correct. Magnesium is more reactive than silver and zinc. So this could be our answer. Okay, but still we'll see other two options also. So the option C says lead. Is lead is more reactive? No, lead is less reactive than both silver and zinc. So this cannot be the answer. So A is also not a correct answer and C is also not a correct answer. Now we'll see D. D says iron. Is iron is more reactive? Yes, iron is more reactive than silver, but it is less reactive than zinc. Correct? So obviously it cannot replace zinc from its solution. Okay, so that's why it is also a wrong option. So the only option we got correct is magnesium. Okay, so let's check our answer. So the answer is B, that is magnesium. So why? The solution says according to activity series, we know that more reactive metal displaces less reactive metal from its salt solution. And in the given option, the only magnesium is more reactive than both silver and zinc. Hence, it can displace them and form magnesium nitrate. Understood? Okay. So this is very simple. Now, the third question. So, the third question says, which of the following statement is true with respect to diamond? Okay, with respect to diamond, which of the following statement is correct? You have to identify. So, let's see one by one. So, the first statement says, the carbon atoms are connected to each other by metallic bonds. Okay. Now, so what is first of all diamond? So we know that a diamond, okay, it is nothing but a kind of structure it has? It has a three-dimensional network structure, right? So where each carbon is connected to 4 other carbons, right? So each carbon is connected to 4 other carbons. Okay. So each carbon is connected to 4 other carbons in a tetrahedral way. Okay, so this is what a diamond looks. This is what one tetrahedral structure, but we know that each carbon atom is surrounded by 4 other carbon atoms. Okay, so that should be there in your mind. So what forms totally? It will form a 3-dimensional rigid structure. Okay, so here the first option says the carbon atoms are connected to each other by a metallic bond. By a metallic bond. Is it right? No, this is wrong. Why? Carbon atoms are connected to each other. Yes, correct. But not through the metallic bond, but instead they are connected with the help of a covalent bond. Okay, so these are nothing but covalent bonds. Okay, all of these are covalent bonds. Okay, so the option B says in the diamond crystal the carbon atoms are very loosely packed. Is it so? No, right? Diamond is a hardest substance we know. It means what? The atoms in diamond are closely packed, not loosely packed. So this is also a wrong statement. Now the option C, it says each carbon atom in the crystal is surrounded by 4 other carbon atoms forming a rigid 3-dimensional structure. Rigid 3-dimensional structure. This is what I have explained here, correct? So that's why it can be the answer. It could be the right answer. Okay. Okay. Now the last option, it says diamond can be synthesized by subjecting pure carbon to very low pressure and temperature. Is it so? No. Diamond is obtained from pure carbon. Okay, this is correct. But not by subjecting it to a low pressure and temperature. Instead, we have to subject it to a very high pressure and temperature, because the atoms should come together, right? The atoms should come together and they should form a rigid structure, and it is possible only with the help of very high pressure and high temperature, not with low pressure and low temperature. Okay, so the only correct option we have got is 3, that is C. Okay, C is our correct option. So let's check our answer. So here you can see the answer is C, and the solution says diamond is a solid form of the element carbon with its atoms arranged in a crystal structure called diamond cubic, where each carbon atom is surrounded by 4 other carbon atoms, and this 3D structure of diamond is the main reason for its lustrous nature, right? Because we know that diamond has a shiny property or shiny surface. It is lustrous in nature, and we know that non-metals are non-lustrous in nature. Though it is made up of carbon, which is a non-metal, diamond is an exceptional case. It is lustrous in nature. Okay, now let's see the 4th question. So the 4th question says identify the elements X and Y in the given chemical reaction. So the reaction is X plus Y SO4 giving Y plus X SO4. That is, you have a metal sulfate, right? Metal with the metal sulfate. Again, it's based on the activity series, correct? So this reaction is nothing but our metal displacement reaction, where more reactive metal displaces the less reactive metal. So obviously here X should be more reactive than Y, right? Y should be less reactive, then only X can displace Y from its salt solution, that is from its sulfate, correct? Sulfate solution. So here you can see Y is displaced and X has taken the place of Y, correct? So X should be more reactive than Y. So this is again based on activity series. I have explained, or I have given you the hint also. So I'll just leave it for yourself. Just solve it and write your answer in the comment box. Okay. Now let's move on to the 5th question. That is, study the table carefully and select the correct statement. Okay. So we have given a table. So you have to just study this table and you have to identify the correct answer. Okay. Now the options, we'll see options, then we'll compare with the table. Okay, so the first option says W is a noble gas. Okay, where is W? Here. So this W is a noble gas, they are saying. Is it so? Okay, if I see the number of electrons, okay, if I see the number of electrons, then it indicates what? It indicates 18. 18 means what? 18 means argon, right? Argon is a noble gas, but we should remember we have to identify the nature of the electrons, nature of the atom, not by seeing the number of electrons or by seeing the number of protons. Okay, so here the number of proton is 16, and we know that it is number of proton is the specific property of each atom. So right, so number of proton is fixed. It is nothing but what? Atomic number. So W is an element with the atomic number 16. So an element with atomic number 16 is not a noble gas, right? And also here you can see the number of electron is 18. And in any element or any atom, number of proton and electron should be same, right? Then only it is a neutral atom. But here number of electron is more. Correct. It means what? It is a anion. It means what? You have added 2 extra electrons into its outermost shell. So it is an anion now. This is not a neutral compound, and also it is not a noble gas. Okay. So the option B says X and U are cations. X and U are cations. Where is that? U. U is here and X is here. So X and U are cations. Let's see. X number of proton is 20, whereas number of electron is 18. It means what? You have removed 2 electron from its outermost shell. So when you remove 2 electrons, obviously it is going to form a cation, right? It is going to form a cation, positive ion. So obviously it's a cation. And what about U? You have number of proton is 11, while number of electron is 10. It means what? 1 electron is less. Right, so obviously it is again going to form a positive ion, that is cation. So both U and X are cation, that is correct. So it doesn't matter that U is a monocation and X is a dication, but that doesn't matter. They are just given in general, that is X and U are cations. So that is a correct statement. Okay, so this could be our answer. Okay, but still we'll see other two options also. The option C says U and V are anions. U and again V are anions. Okay, so U, just now we have seen it is a cation, so it is not a anion. Okay, so this is not a anion. Whereas V, if I see V, it has number of protons 20 and number of electrons also 20, correct? So it means what? It is a neutral compound. Okay, so this is a neutral compound. Okay, so sorry, so this is a neutral compound. Okay, so this is a neutral compound. Now, so this is wrong statement. Both U and V are not anions. U is cation, V is neutral. Last statement, it says V is the lightest element and Z is the heaviest element. So if you see the table carefully, then I can see that Z, where is V? V is here. Okay, so then I can clearly say that Z is the lightest element and V is the heaviest element. Why? Because the mass depends upon what? Number of protons and neutrons. And in the table you can clearly say that Z has the lowest number of protons and neutrons. That's why it must be the lightest element, and V has the highest number of proton and neutrons. So that's why it must be the heaviest element. So that's why this statement is also a wrong statement. So the only correct statement we have got is B. Let's check our answer. So the correct answer is B. Okay, and the solution says, from the table we can clearly see that the elements U and X are cations, W and Y are anions, while the element V and Z are neutral. Also, since mass depends on the number of protons and neutrons, Z is the lightest element while V is the heaviest element. Okay, so I hope you understood this question. It's very simple. Just you have to have the proper knowledge about the atomic mass and atomic number and how to identify each element, cation, anion and neutral nature of the elements. Okay, so if you have any doubt regarding the above discussed question or anything related to chemistry, you can just post it in the comment box and I will try to solve it and give you the best answer. So thank you so much for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and be connected with FunEdu. All the best.